الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل
وكل في فلك يسبحون
ويخلق ما لا تعلمون.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على المبعوث رحمة العالمين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new episode of our program around the chapter of An-Naba or Surah An-Naba. And yesterday we talked about the people who are tyrant, the transgressors, the dictators, who oppress people, who usurp people's right, who humiliate people, who cause some injustice to people by imprisonment, by detention, by any means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala threatened them, and He promised that those people will be punished in hellfire. And He said, Inna Jahannama kanat mirsada, Jahannam will be like an ambush for them, so they will be caught in that place. And then He says, لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا, so it will be their dwelling, their place, their staying place, their residence. Although they enjoy this life, they enjoyed everything here, over there will be no more enjoyment. As we said before, people who enjoy themselves very, very much in a way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like, doesn't accept here, then in the hereafter it will be something different. And I don't know whether we mentioned this story before or not, but anyway, Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab, may Allah be pleased with him, one day he found Sayyidina Jabir ibn Abdullah having a piece of meat, or carrying a piece of meat, and he said, "What's that?" He said, "The piece of meat." He said, "Why?" Sayyidina Jabir said, "I like it." He said to him, "Everything you like, you get it? Aren't you afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might ask you about the pleasures that you have enjoyed yourself very much?" Sayyidina Umar said to him, "Aren't you afraid of being asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, that He would say to you, you have enjoyed yourself very well in the dunya, and then here you will have no more enjoyment?" As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ahqaf, أَذْهَبْتُمْ طَيِّبَاتِكُمْ فِي حَيَاتِكُمُ الدُّنْيَا وَاسْتَمْتَعْتُمْ بِهَا فَالْيَوْمَ تُجْزَوْنَ عَذَابَ الْهُونِ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَسْتَكْبِرُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ وَبِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَفْسُقُونَ, meaning that you enjoyed yourself in the dunya, and here there is no more enjoyment. This is for those who are disobedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Duha, for example, وَأَمَّا بِنَعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes His graces to be shown by people. But the general meaning that you shouldn't, for example, enjoy pleasures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't accept, or something haram, something illegal. This is disapproved and not recommended at all in Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He says, لِلطَّاغِينَ مَآبًا, verse number 22. So for the transgressors, for the tyrant, for those who oppressed others, it will be their abode, it will be their resting place. They will not have any kind of relief or any kind of compassion on the day of judgment. As a meaning of hadith which was reported to the Prophet ﷺ, he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't grant a person 2 fears and 2 kinds of security. If somebody fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life, in the dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant him security on the day of judgment. And if somebody doesn't fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not give him or grant him any security on the day of judgment, and he is prone to punishment and chastisement by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the verse number 23, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said that those people, the tyrant, the transgressors, the taghin, those who oppressed others, they are not going to stay there for a short time, as some people mock Islam and mock these facts about the hereafter, and they would say, okay, we'll stay just for a short time there, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish everybody according to the bad deeds he did. If somebody, for example, caused injustice, he killed, he humiliated, he imprisoned people for no reason, then Jahannam will be his abode. The hellfire is going to be his reward, because he did all these bad things. The word here, لَابِثِينَ فِيهَا أَحْقَابًا, it means that they will stay there for a long time. And Mufassirun differed about the word ahqab. So it is, in Arabic, it is either plural of the word hiqb or huqb. Some of them said that the Ahqab, as Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, he said to them, what you found the word haqb in the Quran? They said that the word haqb means 80 years. So they will stay there for more than one period like that. And 80 years, each year is divided into 12 months. And each month has got 30 days. And each day in the hereafter is exactly like 1,000 years of our time here. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَإِنَّ يَوْمًا عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ كَأَلْفِ سَنَةٍ مِمَّا تَعُدُّونَ. One day in the hereafter equals 1,000 year here in our calculations. Because as I said before, all calculations will be changed and everything will be changed. People, the land, the earth, and even the way by which we calculate years and months and hours, it will be something different to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It means, and some other Mufassirun scholars said that the word ahqab means something that does not terminate. So whenever one haqbah, whenever a period is finished, then it's going to be replaced by another one. This means that their chastisement or their punishment will be continuous, without any interval, without any break, without any even some time to catch their breath, because they enjoyed all these things in the dunya. They oppressed people, they did all these horrible massacres, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and He doesn't want anybody to interfere in His creation. You are not allowed, for example, to punish. You are not allowed even to do something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't accept. This towards human beings and even towards animals. And as I said before, even towards very little creatures like the ants. One day, the Prophet ﷺ, he found one of the companions and he set to fire a group of ants, and he was angry and he said, nobody should punish by fire except the Lord of fire, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you cannot terrify anybody, you cannot scare a Muslim. There is a hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the one who holds even a piece of iron to scare his brother, all angels will curse him until he stops what he is doing. This is even for fun. If you are joking, for example, you are, for example, holding a knife or something like that as a way of joking, then the angels will curse you until you finish what you are doing, because you are not allowed to do anything that is terrifying, horrifying, or scaring, or do anything to terrify anyone, a Muslim or a non-Muslim, because all people are the creatures or the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't want anybody to distort this creation or to play with it or to change it, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-An'am, فَلَا يُغَيِّرُنَّ خَلْقَ اللَّهِ, and then He said, لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ, those who change the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by changing their faces or their colors or do something like plastic surgeries to change their appearance. That's possible, as the scholar said, if there is a kind of fault, for example, or there is a problem in the nose, it could be repaired. But if just for the sake of changing your color, you wear black and then you change yourself to be white, this is not accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the person who is doing that is cursed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He says, verse number 23, لَابِثِينَ فِيهَا أَحْقَابًا, over there they will stay for a very long time. Nobody knows the duration of this punishment or the length of this punishment except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can give the accurate meaning of the word haqq, but the Quran states that they will stay over there for a long time, and it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who knows how long they are going to be there. And then another issue also, Jahannam or hellfire, everybody must pass over it. Even the very pious people, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Maryam, وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَىٰ رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. None of you but will pass over it. And this is a promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that must be accomplished. But the good people, the pious, they will pass very quickly. And the wicked ones or the transgressors, they will fall down into the hellfire. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He described, for example, the food of the good people, the pious people, that over there they will have rivers of wine, rivers of milk, rivers of very, very clean and pure water. That's for the good ones. As for this type that we are talking about now, the transgressors, their food and their drink will be completely different because for what they committed in the dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here he says, لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا. The translation here says, nothing cool shall they taste therein, nor any drink. This means, of course, the punishment or the hellfire is very, very hot, more than you imagine. As I said before, it's not like the fire that we are using or by which we can get some heat or warmth, for example. But the type of hellfire, as the authentic hadith said, that it has been flamed, for example, for 1,000 years until it was white, and then the same period of time, another 1,000 years until it became red, and then around also 1,000 years until it became very, very black. So it's like the night, for example, it's too black. So it's very, very painful and very hot. When they ask for relief, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in Surah Al-Kahf, إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ نَارًا أَحَاطَ بِهِمْ سُرَادِقُهَا وَإِنْ يَسْتَغِيثُوا يُغَاثُوا بِمَاءٍ كَالْمُهْلِ يَشْوِي الْوُجُوهِ بِئْسَ الشَّرَابُ وَسَاءَتْ مُرْتَفَقًا. If they ask for relief, they will be given a kind of very, very boiled water like melted brass, which would scald or which would distort faces. This is for the zalimeen, this is for the transgressors, for the tyrants who thought that they are going to stay here for eternal life or for good. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows very well how to deal with these people. Even if they are going to have a kind of, for example, of punishment or just a kind of test here, then in the hereafter it will be different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, as we said in Surah Al-Baqarah before, the dialogue or the debate between the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and the tyrant who is called An-Namrud. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished this tyrant person. Allah didn't, for example, use very powerful weapons to punish him. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this is in the dunya here, sent a very little creature, like it was, I think, a mosquito or something like that. It went through his ears until it reached his brains. And then people used to beat him on his head with shoes until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala died him, or until this person died on that state. Because he thought himself, he made a lord out of himself, as Pharaoh, for example, said, مَا عَلِمْتُ لَكُمْ إِلَهًا غَيْرِي, or I am your superior or your supreme lord. Some people, they give themselves the same attributes like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say we can do that, we can do so, we can do so. But again, the power they have is very limited when it's compared to the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in Surah At-Talaq, لِتَعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ عِلْمًا. Nothing can stop him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, time is we might calculate the time here. For example, you can't say, if you were a ruler or any person who is in the position, I will send my troops, for example, to another country. This might take 1 month, more than that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deals with those people in another and in a different way. I'll give you an example of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala power. This is here, the example is just for one of Allah's creatures, how He is powerful. In the story of Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, when he asked his aides or his assistants, asking them to bring the throne of the queen of Saba, and when he said, أَيُّكُمْ يَأْتِينِ بِعَرْشِهَا قَبْلَ يَأْتُونِ مُسْلِمِينَ, which one of you can bring me the throne of this queen before they submit themselves to me? قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. The one who was given knowledge, he said to Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, I am able, or I can bring you the throne of this queen before your eye twinkles. So which means a very, very short time. If that is the case, or if that was the case with one of just the helpers of Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, how about Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam himself? How about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He says in Surah Yasin, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ. When He wants something, He just gives an order, be, and then that's it. If He wants to destroy, for example, a country or causes earthquake, it's just one word, be, and then that's it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing can challenge Him and nothing can stop Him. and the calculations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has are completely different to ours. We might think, we might take time to do so and so, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ready and is powerful, and He can punish even a whole country, a whole village, without taking much time. And this is the sunnah, or this is the tradition, this is the custom that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is dealing with those tyrant people. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said in the 7th hadith, اتَّقِ دَعْوَةَ الْمَظْلُومِ فَلَيْسَ بَيْنَهَا وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ حِجَابٍ. Be afraid or be scary about the prayer that the oppressed person might make, because there is no veil between this prayer or between this dua. The dua of the mazloom, the one who was oppressed, goes direct to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if this person was a non-Muslim. Because sometimes some Muslims, unfortunately this might happen in some countries, they made of themselves like legislators or give verdicts. They would say, okay, this country, these people, we are in the state of war now, or this is the place of harb, or this is Dar al-Harb, place of war, or abode of war, so we are eligible, or we have the right to usurp, to steal, to do so and so, to punish. You don't have the right to do anything, because all people or the lives of people are rested in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who can cause death and who can cause life and so on. So you don't have the right to usurp even a person who has no religion at all, because he is called mazloom or oppressed by you. So you don't have the right to control people affairs, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُصَيْطِرٍ. You are only to remind them of the hereafter, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of Islam, and you are not to control their affairs. You are not to compel them to accept your call, for example, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, لا إكراه في الدين. There is no way to oblige people or to compel them to accept. Just give them your proofs, and if they accept it, that's fine. If not, it's their own reward in the hereafter. If they are believers, they will go to paradise. Otherwise, they will have a different destiny, and they will have a different place.
يهدي به الله من اتبع رضوانه سبل السلام. يهدي به الله من اتبع رضوانه سبل السلام.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here he says, إِلَّا حَمِيمًا وَغَسَّاقًا. This is their food, and this is what's waiting for them. As we said before, there should be a kind of distinction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, قُلْ هَلْ يَسْتَوِي الَّذِينَ يَعْلَمُونَ وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Those who have knowledge and those who have no knowledge cannot be equal. And those, for example, the one who is righteous can never be made equal to the one who is wicked, or to the one who is mischievous, or to the one who caused injustice and who usurped people's rights and so on. If we can apply, or if we really apply these rules, for example, to our dunya or to our life, how about the hereafter? In the hereafter, nobody will be wronged and nobody will be oppressed. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in chapter Ghafir or Al-Mu'min, لا ظلم اليوم تجزى كل نفس بما كسبت لا ظلم اليوم إن الله سريع الحساب. Today, everybody, or this day, everybody will take his rights in full. The one who was oppressed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take his right from the one who oppressed him. And the one who oppressed people, the oppressor or the wrongdoers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also will take the right of them, and He will punish them, and so on. So here we are warned in this verse to be careful about this, about these things. Don't commit any kind of oppression to anyone, to a Muslim or to a non-Muslim, to a man or to a woman, even to a child, even to animals. They are not allowed to do a kind of harm to animals, because the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade that, and he said that we should even, Islam, as I said before, it addresses people. Sometimes it addresses even people to take care of animals. It addresses people to take care of plants. So it is a comprehensive a universal and a complete religion that didn't leave anything. So Islam called for justice and for good treatment for all what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, human beings, animals, plants, everything. You need to be just and you need to be kind to them. And here the verse says their food and the drink will be hamiman wa ghassaq, and hamim, which is a boiled water that would distort their faces, and then ghassaq, the Mufassirun said the word ghassaq means the pus or the blood or the bad things which come out of the body of those who are being tortured in hellfire. This is the reward or the punishment of those people. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in chapter Al-Dukhan, طعام الأثيم كالمهل يغلي في البطون كغلي الحميم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, he says, like molten brass, it will boil in their inside, like the boiling of scalding water. So it's something that if you think about it, you would be scared. Sometimes just remember, if you are, for example, cooking or making tea or something, and you are in front of the cooker, and suddenly your finger, for example, touched fire, you would say, you would scream, you would shout because of a little wound or a little, for example, thing that touched your body. So imagine or remember that if you caused any kind of injustice, what are you going to do on the day of judgment? Imagine yourself, you are there, you are before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the scales are going to be weighed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, your good deeds are here, your bad deeds are here. You don't know whether you are going to be saved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. Are you going to be protected under Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protection or not? Are you going to paradise or to hellfire? Remember, if you have caused any kind of injustice to anybody, go to this person and ask him to forgive you, because the rights that are related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah might forgive them. If, for example, if you neglected your prayer, if you delayed the prayer, if you stopped, for example, paying zakah, if you, for example, unfortunately missed one of the days of Ramadan, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive you for that, except rights of people. If you insulted one person and you didn't ask him for reconciliation, or you didn't apologize for him, you didn't say to him, forgive me, excuse me, pardon me, or you hit or slapped one person here in this dunya without any kind of apology or without any kind of asking him to forgive you, then on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring both of you. He will say to the other person that you slapped or you hit, what you want now? He would say, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I need my account to be settled with this person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how would you be pleased? He would say, oh Allah, give me out of his good deeds and give him out of my deeds. It will be something very difficult. You might lose loads of your good deeds because of your behavior, because of you insulted. As we said a hadith before, the Prophet ﷺ, when he was told about a woman, she prays a lot and so, but she hurts people with her tongue, she insults people, and she backbites people and so on. The Prophet said, she is in hellfire. And one day he passed by two graves and he said they are being punished for something which people think it is little, but it is something great. One of them was backbiting or using to spread mischief among people. We have to be careful about that in order to be safe on the day of judgment, where there will be nothing or no alternative but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the end, I ask Allah's forgiveness for all of us. Until we meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وترى الجبال تحسبها جامدة وهي تمر مر السحاب صنع الله الذي أتقن كل شيء إنه خبير بما تفعلون.
مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل
وكل في فلك يسبحون.